Hello, everybody. This is John Paval with Access Arts Live, a special edition update to give you some background on the Paris National Opera's live stream of Philip Glass's Satyagraha. From the Sanskrit, it means the force of truth. And it's all about it's today, April 24th at 7:30 in the evening European time, 1:30 in the afternoon in New York City, 10:30 in the morning in LA, San Francisco, etc. This was Glass's opera, came out in 1980. It's about not just about Gandhi, it's about Gandhi, but it's not just about Gandhi, about his relationship with others, especially Leo Tolstoy, with whom he had a long correspondence, Rabindranath Tagore, the Indian poet who supported him, and Martin Luther King Jr., who was a follower of Gandhi. So this is coming into the Paris Opera repertoire for the first time. They do not do that many live streams through Paris Opera Play, so I wanted to make sure you had a separate announcement about it and could know about it. It is directed by Bobby Jean Smith and Urs Schreiber, who are choreographers, so you can expect this to be a choreographed opera as well. And they have already created one piece for the Paris Opera, a dance piece called Pit. And for them, this opera, we are told, quote unquote, is not simply a meditation on history, but a call to action and a forceful lesson that rings ever more true today. I'm here to tell you a little bit about each of the performers and a little bit also about these directors and the conductor who will be in this production. So let me get on to that right away and start out with the lead performer in the role of Gandhi, the countertenor, Anthony Roth Costanzo. He's from Princeton University originally, then Manhattan School of Music, Musical America 2019 Vocalist of the Year. So the man can sing. Won in 2020, he won the Metropolitan Opera's Beverly Sills Award and the Opera News Award. Now, getting past the awards, he then had debuts at the Glenberg Festival as Rinaldo and Eustasio, in the title role of Julius Caesar with the Houston Grand Opera, which unfortunately doesn't do a lot of live streaming, as Armindo in Partenope at the San Francisco Opera, and at the Finnish National Opera as the spirit angel in the opera Only the Sound Remains. So a man not unfamiliar with contemporary opera. He also portrayed Akhenaten in Philip Glass's opera Akhenaten with the Metropolitan Opera, the Los Angeles Opera, the English National Opera, and they recorded it, and he got a 2022 Grammy Award for Best Opera Recording for that. This year, he'll also be performing Akhenaten by Philip Glass at the Grand Theatre de Lisieux in Barcelona and at the Concertgebouw in Amsterdam. You see, and I may not have mentioned this, but Philip Glass, he wrote 3 operas in the 70s and 80s on political figures. He first did, you call him a political figure, I'm not sure. He first did Einstein on the Beach in 1976. Then he did Satyagraha in 1980, and then he did Akhenaten in 1984. As for Anthony Roth Costanzo, he's not just a pretty voice and a pretty face and a lovely voice. No, he's also since 2024 the general director and president of Opera Philadelphia. So he's doing administrative stuff. He played Francisco de Avila in The Exterminating Angel at the Paris Opera in 2024. So top guy coming back to the Paris Opera, familiar with Philip Glass. I'm not sure how much more you could ask for in this role. Looks like a good choice to me. Then let us move on to the next of the main roles. I only do 4 in these live streams, because what would life be like without some arbitrary numerical limit on things you do? Actually, it's just to keep it in some reasonable period of time. The next interesting role is that of Sonia Sleason, who's played by Ilana Lobel Torres, the soprano. She was a product of the New England Conservatory and then the Mannes School of Music, went through the Paris National Opera Academy, and became a member of their lyric ensemble in 2023, 2024. She has worked with Anthony Roth Costanzo at least once, because they were both in The Exterminating Angel at the Paris Opera in 2024, where she played Ménie and Béatrice. She's done a number of roles at the Paris Opera, a long list. The other notable ones there would be the Macropolis Case, where she played Christa in 2023, and Papagena and the Magic Flute in 2024. The next character of interest, it's hard for me to give you a single story the way I usually do with these operas, because this opera comes in three acts, and it has different people coming in, different characters. I'll tell you a little bit about that just at the end, but at least I can tell you you'll know who these singers are, a little bit more about them. Next is the bass baritone Davon Tines, who was named Musical America's Singer of the Year in 2022. So you've got two Singers of the Year from Musical America here. He's also won the Sphinx Medal of Excellence, the Chanel Next Prize, and the Harvard Arts Medal, all of those last year. You could call him a rising star, I suppose. Made his debut at the Metropolitan Opera in Adams's El Nino in 2024. He does a lot of his own projects, though. This year, he'll be doing a project. He's as part of a residency at the Barbican Center in London. His Concerto No. 1 Sermon and Concerto No. 2 Anthem. He likes to create his own works and perform them. He'll also be doing a program called What Is Your Hand in This?, which he co-created with the Ruckus Ensemble at Carnegie Hall. And he'll be presenting his work, The Black Clown, at the Philadelphia Opera, where, as I may have mentioned to you, Anthony Roth Costanzo is the general director and president. He has appeared once before at the Paris National Opera 8 years ago as the priest and the fisherman in Only the Sound Remains. Then one more, the other thing I should mention is that he's actually playing two roles in this opera. He's playing Hermann Kallenbach and Parsi Rustomjee, which he can do because they're in different sections of the opera, among other things. But that allows me to bring in a fourth of the singers, covering 5 characters, which is Adriana Bignagni-Lesca. And I actually remembered to show everybody's photos one after the other. I'm so proud of myself. I make so many mistakes like that. Adriana Bignagni-Lesca, she's listed as an alto in the program, but she's listed as a mezzo-soprano on the opera website. But in any event, she's from Gabon and got her training at the Bordeaux Conservatory. And she's performed at the Théâtre du Capitole in Toulouse, at the Unter den Linden in Berlin, at the Opéra National du Rhin, at the Staatsopera in Hamburg, and also at Lisieux. At the Paris National Opera, she appeared as Juno in Platée in 2022, and as the Princess of Granada in Les Brigands, the Brigands, in 2025. Also in the cast are Olivia Bain as Mrs. Naidu, she's a soprano, mezzo-soprano Deepa Jani as Mrs. Alexander, Nikki Spence as Prince Arjuna and Lord Krishna, and Nicolas Cavalier as the older sage. He's a bass. It's in 3 acts. Act 1 is focused on Leo Tolstoy, then Act 2 on Rabindranath Tagore, and Act 3 on Martin Luther King Jr. If you, these are not free of charge. They charge 14 euros and 90 cents to watch it. But if you do pay that, then you get the full libretto along with it, if that interests you. Let me just tell you a little bit about Bobby Jean Smith and Or Schreiber, the choreographers who are staging this thing. So you can expect a fair amount of movement here. Bobby Jean Smith is a product of Juilliard, the North Carolina School of Arts, and the Royal Winnipeg Ballet School. She, together with Or Schreiber, she's done a lot of work. She's choreographed works for the ballet at the Paris National Opera, for Martha Graham Dance Company, the Royal Danish Ballet, the Basel Theater, and the LA Dance Project, and the Batsheva Dance Ensemble, among others, we're told. And with Or Schreiber, she was artist in residence at the LA Dance Project. And made an off-Broadway debut in 2023, choreographing Danny and the Deep Blue Sea in New York City. So, and let me tell you about the director. The director is Ingo Metzmacher. Hold on a second. Let me put the general photo back up again for you, because I think some of these photos are interesting to give you an idea of just how active and choreographed this is going to be. I see we have Synth Todd and Imam Budi Setiat Maji are with us on Instagram. I can't see who people are if you're on following us on other platforms. And there's Barney 01123 who is following us. But we're on 6 platforms simultaneously right now, actually 5. And Restream, the platform I'm streaming on, doesn't show me all of them. Let me just tell you that I really like the conductor of this particular opera. It's Ingo Metzmacher. He has been with places like the Staatsoper Hamburg, the Dutch National Opera, the Deutsche Symphony Orchestra in Berlin, the Kunstfestspiele in Herrenhausen. Does a lot of guest conducting of operas and orchestras around the world, including the top operas like Vienna and La Scala and at Salzburg at the festival. And he's the author of a book called Keine Angst vor neuen Tönen. Don't be afraid of new sounds. He's conducted at least a half a dozen operas for the Paris National Opera before. Folks, that is what I can fill you in with in terms of background on this one of these rare occasions when the Paris National Opera is live streaming, and you can enjoy it for the bargain price of 14 euros and 90 cents, which is a lot less than you'd have to pay to get in the door. They do have low-cost tickets at the Paris Opera, but the problem is that as soon as the tickets go on sale, everything low-cost gets bought up. And for anybody who isn't glued to their screens when that happens, you have to pay a lot more to enjoy it. You get it for only 14 euros and 90 cents. Let me remind you, if you love this kind of thing, do yourself a favor and follow and or subscribe to Access Art Live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram in particular, to make sure that you don't miss any of our special editions that we do. Whenever we have an opera, we don't just include it in our regular listings, and we publish more than 1,000 live links to live performances every year. We also do a separate special edition, so I have time to tell you about at least 4 of the main performers in it, and a little bit about who's directing it and who the conductor is. So thanks for tuning into this. And by the way, we're also available, if you don't like Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, we're also available on Threads and LinkedIn and TikTok and X, if that's where you'd rather find us. I'll say ciao for now. Have a great weekend. There's something like 10 or 12 live streams going on today. Follow our pages. You'll find the list of all of them, and you'll find individual 1-minute updates on each and every one of them. I'm working hard today, folks, but enjoy this Satyagraha, the force of truth.